All right, everybody, cool cats and kittens. We're going to kick it off here with the AFC South NFL draft predictions, and then we're going to hit every division in the NFL. So, hey, if you like what you see, check out some of our other episodes. We're going to have a lot of fun with this series. I'm going to share my screen here right now. All right, folks. So unless you have been living underneath a rock, the Indianapolis Colts have had a very eventful offseason thus far. Signing the likes of Matt Ryan, getting a lot of heavy hitters in that locker room. I already give them a very solid grade when it comes to free agency. But as you see the title of the video, we're going to take and grade this draft. So starting from the top, we got round 2. They got Alec Pierce, who was the best receiver when it comes to Cincinnati for that offense. Won them lots and lots of games. They got Jelani Woods, tight end from Virginia. Very nice pickup. Bernhard Raymond from Central Michigan. Nick Cross got from Maryland. Eric Johnson, DT, Missouri State. Tight end Andrew Ogletree from Youngstown State. Curtis Brooks, D-tackle. Again, second player from Cincinnati. So he has a teammate already on the team. And then to finish off this draft, Rodney Thomas, defensive back, Yale. Mike, what are your thoughts on this draft, and are you a fan of it? Well, what grade do you give them?
Yeah, man, I definitely like what they did in the beginning. I honestly think they should have doubled down at wide receiver personally. But I do like Alec Pierce, dude's shifty. I was super pissed off. They traded in front of the Broncos and drafted Jelani Woods. Like, that was one of my favorite tight ends in the draft. I couldn't even hate. I think I mentioned it in the video we did, Doug. Like, I was so mad about that. I was like, Jelani Woods is about to fall to us and then they traded and got him. And then Bernard Ryman from Central Michigan is massive. He's raw, but he's got the look of like a long-term disgusting piece on that line. I want to say he's like 6'6", 6'7", something like that.
Let me take a look here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's it.
Did they say he was from Germany or something like that?
Yeah, he's from Germany. So dude has a real nasty demeanor. I mean, he played at a little bit of a lower level, but dude's an absolute beast. And I think he'll do nothing but get a little bit stronger, right? 6'6", 303. He can get a little bit stronger in his base. But he plays very well. He's a strong guy. Like, you see his bench press, obviously. He's a strong guy. I just think, like, over time, going from college strength to NFL strength, he looks like he'll be another stalwart for them. And then getting Nick Cross in the third round, that's a guy that can come in with Julian Blackmon and start probably pretty quickly, or if not start, be in the rotation pretty quickly because he plays both safety positions. He can play the slot pretty well. So overall, I mean, with those first 4 picks, I think they got people that will absolutely contribute right away. I would give their draft a solid like B+. I think they filled some depth in on the later rounds for sure, like Eric Johnson, Alec Ogletree. I think they filled in some depth a little bit, but me personally, I think they should have added. I think they should have doubled down that receiver and grabbed a tight end and a lineman, but I guess their board didn't fall that way. So if they would have got one more receiver, almost anybody, I would have gave them an A. But I think they had a pretty solid draft for sure.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you took my notes. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, look, they're almost a complete team. You look at teams like them. You look at teams, like Kansas City Chiefs, Dolphins to an extent. There may be a few more steps behind the Colts, right? But they have almost every position filled with somebody who could perform very well. This is dang near a Super Bowl ready team. Not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl. But hey, anything is possible, right? And you have a guy. My 2 favorites, Jelani Woods and Alec Pierce, on this list. And you mentioned it also about Bernhard Raymond. Fantastic pickup. And it's nice to see folks internationally fall in love with the sport of football, whether they're from Nigeria, Brazil, a Scandinavian country, wherever. It's always very exciting, Moving on to our next. I didn't give my grade. I'm going to give them a B+ as well, too. So I feel like there's a few things they could have did a little better on, but overall, I like the draft a lot. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars next. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, they fired their coach, Urban Meyer. Wow, that was pretty crazy. But they had a very exciting free agency. I didn't agree with what some people, what's that tight end? That receiver from Arizona, Christian
Christian
something.
Kirk. Yeah, Christian Kirk. They signed for $80 million.
Man, he got the bag. I hope he can stay healthy. But overall, I love the attempts, and it's gonna be exciting to see where they go. Plus this draft. So let's kick it off. Trayvon Walker, number 1 pick overall, Georgia. Man, very exciting. Georgia dang near had an NFL team with how many was it? 15 players we saw take and go in this draft. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. Then on top of that, you have Devin Lloyd, Utah. Many conversations, people were saying, hey, is it Nakobe Dean the number 1 linebacker? Is it Devin Lloyd? Hey, we got a clear number 1 right now, and that's Devin Lloyd. We got Luke Fortner, Kentucky, 3rd round. Great pickup. Very great pickup. One of the best centers in this entire draft. Chad Muma, please forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong. Linebacker, Wyoming. Snoop Connor. I freaking love that name. I'm going to have to watch a little tape on him, but I really love that name. Coming out of Mississippi, running back. Then we have Gregory Jr., cornerback out of Watcha Baptist University. And then finally, we got Monteric Brown, cornerback, Arkansas. Mike, what you got, man? What do you grade this draft for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, man, I'd give this like a C-, honestly, because I think when you got a number 1 overall pick, I think, in my opinion, for what they needed, Aiden Hutchinson would have been much safer. Now, if Trayvon Walker hits, his upside is through the roof. But for the position this team is in, they absolutely should have took Aiden Hutchinson because, worst case scenario, I feel like his floor is a Pro Bowl level player. His upside is like another J.J. Watt type, right? So I think if your floor is a Pro Bowl, like Trayvon Walker's floor is he's not on this team by the end of his contract, right? And again, he has great upside. I think he's absolutely a 1st round pick, a top 10 pick, absolutely. But I think the hype train really started rolling like crazy. And I think he got overdrafted. I absolutely loved the Devin Lloyd pick. But the reason it kind of is offset is because they doubled down with Chad Muma. They had so many other needs to fill. Like they still need a tight end. They still need some safety help. They have a pretty deep running back room, so they're cool there. They could have added some more linemen. I think Luke Fortner as a center. The only 2 picks I really liked or loved that I think are going to make any impact are Devin Lloyd and Luke Fortner. Yeah, for sure. Trayvon Walker is all upside, and I don't know if is he going to get on the field when they got Josh Allen there. They got the ends that they currently have. I'm wondering, like, if your number 1 overall pick is even going to get on the field, that's a problem, right? So, and again, I think the Devin Lloyd pick got the knees cut off of it because Chad Muma is an absolute dog. Though their skills are similar, and I don't think they're both going to be on the field at the same time. I think Chad Muma is great. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. So I'd give this like a C- just because I think they could have used those picks a little bit differently. If they would have picked somebody different instead of Devin Lloyd or different instead of Chad Muma, I think that would have been cool. But I think those picks kind of clashed a little bit, and we don't know what Trayvon Walker is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. This tends to happen with teams who are coming out of not all the time, right? But it tends to happen with teams that are coming out of a hellhole, for better lack of word. One of the worst teams in the NFL, right? One of the worst, actually the worst record last year, right? And they've been bad ever since that AFC Championship, man. It's just been really rough for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I like a lot. I mean, a lot of you mentioned it, Mike. Chad Muma, Luke Fortner might be my favorite out of all of these picks, man, because I'm thinking about the development of your quarterback too, right? They did get Cam Robinson recently, not drafted, but they re-signed him or they signed him and stuff. So I really like that pickup there. So the O-line I definitely expect to be better. I would have liked to take and see a receiver get drafted higher. I will say that. I don't know how you feel about that, Mike, but I really would have liked to see that. I do like these picks. It's going to be interesting. Hey, Doug Peterson's back. Really happy to see him employed again. Very exciting. Mike, you say you give him a C-. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to give him a C+, but I would have liked to see a little bit more. But overall, hopefully these guys turn out well. Even if they hit on 70% of these picks, team will benefit very much so.
Right.
All right. Moving on. Houston, H-Town, Houston Texans. Let's go. Let's see what they got. All right, I'm going to kick this off. The baddest man in the land, Derek Stingley Jr., defensive back, LSU. Kenyon Green, O-lineman, Texas A&M. Jalen Petre, defensive back, Baylor. Baylor had a lot of people going this year's draft. I did not expect that. Then we had John Mechie, the third. Wide receiver, Alabama. really love this pickup here. Christian Harris, linebacker, Alabama. Damian Pierce, running back, Georgia. Man, he's probably my top 5 favorite running back in this entire draft. I love Damian Pierce. What a great pickup. Then, of course, we got Thomas Booker, defensive tackle, Stanford. Tegan Quitoriano, hopefully I said his name correctly, tight end, Oregon State. Then we have Austin Duculas, offensive lineman, LSU. Mike, what are your thoughts on the Houston Texans draft class?
Yeah, this draft I thought it was pretty solid. I honestly think for the needs they have, I mean, they needed everything, really, if we're being honest. Yeah. I think they set themselves up very well. Derek Stingley being healthy, Sauce Gardner's a beast. I think he was the safest corner to pick. He has phenomenal upside. But Derek Stingley, if he's healthy and he plays like he did in 19, he sat out last, not this past season, but the season before because of COVID and injuries. But if he plays like he played before he got hurt, that's going to be like a Darrelle Revis type corner. He absolutely shut down. I mean, we're talking, a team that had Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, etc. He shut them fellas down on their way to that national championship as a true freshman. So I think if he can return to that form, that's going to be a steal in the draft, even though it's a 3rd overall pick. I'm just curious to see how they're going to play because they're playing at Tampa too, and he's a man corner. Kenyon Green, I thought was one of my favorite guards in the draft. Some people said he got overdrafted a little bit, but we talk about it all the time. Like if you like a guy, he's going to fit your system. Go get your guy. But I give them an A because I think their first 6 picks from Derek Stingley down to Damian Pierce are going to be playing significant snaps this year. John Mechie's a phenomenal route runner. He's quick. I think he'll as long as he heals up quickly, he'll make impact. Christian Harris is an absolute thumper in the middle. That's a guy that they could play a linebacker. He could start his rookie year and man that for 10 years. Jalen Petrie, I think, was a bit of an overdraft. I think they fell in love with his speed because he's extremely quick. But again, they needed help in the secondary. He can play safety. He can play corner. So a very versatile guy. So I'll give their draft about an A. I think they honestly had the best draft in the division this year because they had so many needs and they got guys that like have pretty high floors and very high ceilings. So I definitely would give their draft an A.
I love it. You hit a good point on Jalen Petrie. That was definitely an overdraft. I would have liked to see another O-line there. That's an O-line. I mean, Davis Mills was definitely smacked around a lot. But I do like that they got Kenyon Green. I love the Derek Stingley pick. John Mechie, I love watching him at Alabama. Nothing but ballers on here, man. I'm really excited. Overall, I'm going to give him an A-, just because I would have liked to see an O-lineman with that 3rd pick for that 2nd round pick 5. But overall, love what Houston is doing. All right. Moving on, we got the Tennessee Titans. Mike, there's a little bit of drama going on, man. Did you hear about Ryan Tannehill's comments?
Yeah, for sure. He says, man, we're competing. If he learns something, that's great, but I'm not here to be a mentor. Get that out of here.
A little bit of attitude. I love it. But it's going to be interesting. Give me 1 sec here. I'm just pulling. To update my computer here, so give me a sec here. Speaking of, folks, if you want to donate, information is down below. Your boy needs a new computer. This is brutal. All right, and what they did. Let's kick it off with Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. Now, he got a lot of comparisons to Deebo Samuel. If there's one player in this draft that represents a Deebo Samuel, we know this is a copycat league, folks. Treylon Burks is the man. That's a great pickup. We'll see how he does, right? Because it's a whole different system than the 49ers and comparing Deebo Samuel. But Treylon Burks, I mean, he can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's a really great receiver. He also can get pretty good separation off of the defensive backs. I really like this pickup for them. I'm not sure if he'll be as good or better than A.J. Brown, who was recently traded to Philadelphia Eagles. I really like this pick a lot. Roger McCreary, cornerback, Auburn. Then we have Nicholas Petit-Frere, offensive tackle, Ohio State. Please forgive me if I said his name incorrectly. Then over here, we got Mr. Malik Willis, potentially the best quarterback in this entire draft class. I'm really excited about it. We'll talk about him here in a sec. Quarterback, Liberty University. Then we got a friend of the show, somebody who I actually had the privilege of interviewing, and our other co-host, Adrian Campbell, a.k.a. Soup. He was also on the show when we did this interview. Hassan Haskins, running back, Michigan. I see like another Le'Veon Bell here, man. This is a great guy to take him back up Derrick Henry, also because his running style is completely different. Very excited to see what he does. Then we have Chigozie Okonkwo, Tight end, Maryland. We got Kyle Phillips, wide receiver, UCLA. Theo Jackson, cornerback, Tennessee. And Chance Campbell, linebacker, Mississippi. Mike, talk to me, man. What are your thoughts on this draft class?
I would have loved this draft a lot more if AJ Brown was still there and they had the opportunity to add a Treylon Burks. But realistically, they didn't have a first round draft pick, so there's no way possible that would have happened. Treylon Burks was going to be gone. But again, like Treylon Burks, you compared him to Debo. I think that's a good comparison. Another one I see a lot when I was looking at it was AJ Brown. Like you traded AJ Brown, who clearly, clearly the coach was not happy about. Right? Clearly he got up when they traded him. He looked so frustrated at the table. I don't know if you saw that, Doug, but he would look so pissed off. And then you draft a guy that's his comp that you don't know if he's ever going to be AJ Brown, right? But I think Treylon Burks has a lot of upside. I like the fact that they doubled down at receiver because that was AJ Brown, Julio Jones was getting healthy. Roger McCreary, I think, is an absolute dog that fills a need for them at corner. Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, I think that was interesting because he's not really known for his run blocking, right? He's known for his pass blocking. His pass blocking is phenomenal. I think he's just going to have to develop a little bit more in the run game and the offense they have. That's why I was kind of curious. But I do think he's a guy that will start this year, and I'm just interested to see how his run blocking develops. Malik Willis is that could be an absolute steal, right? I think that guy, I've been pounding the table for him, for a long time. I think that's my favorite quarterback in the draft. I think he has the highest upside, absolutely. So him getting to learn behind Ryan Tannehill for a little bit, learn that offense, play action, making smart decisions, getting the ball out. He has all the arm talent in the world. So I think that guy could develop into, once Tannehill's contract's up, Malik Willis can slide in and start. Hassan Haskins, I would have liked him to go to a team where he was the feature back because I think he's otherworldly talented, and Derrick Henry doesn't really come off the field ever unless he was hurt. But I think having him as your number 2 running back is an absolute coup. So I like that pick. And I hope maybe this year they give him some more carries and let Derrick Henry, King Henry, heal up a little bit. The tight end out of Maryland, I'm only want to butcher his name, Okonwu, very fast. Like dude's quick. He has that his speed is elite. He's 6'2", a little bit smaller of a tight end. But I think he's going to be very good in the pass game. That's almost like another receiver. He's 6'2". I want to say he ran like in the 4.5s as a tight end. Pretty quick for a tight end. His run blocking definitely needs a little bit of work. You could tell I've been paying attention to this stuff, right? 6'2", 4.5s. He's a little bit undersized. You see 238, like that's like I don't know if that's like completely undersized with his height, but I feel like he is a guy that will be very good in the pass game. I just think it'll take him a couple years to develop, but if he hits his ceiling, he's going to be an absolute dog. So I'll give this draft a solid B plus. And I just don't like the fact that they got rid of AJ Brown because you know what you have in him. But I think they really hit they didn't have many needs, but the needs they did have, they absolutely filled it. Have a developmental quarterback. They got 2 DBs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a phenomenal running back. So I thought this draft, they hit all their needs, and it was arguably best player available. So I'd definitely give them a B plus.
I love that, man. For me, I'm looking here, and it's like, man, defense is pretty much complete, right? They were one of the more elite defenses last year in the league, right? I'm gonna give them an A minus. I'm gonna give him an A minus, just a tad notch higher. But I do, man, this Malik Willis pick right here, man. And I've said this for a while, man. Like Ryan Tannehill, I feel like they don't completely trust him. We've seen him big moments, and they can't just keep putting the whole team on Derrick Henry's back, right? He got banged up last year, right? And Foreman, Dante Foreman, I think his name was.
Dante Foreman, yep.
Yeah, he played really good in this place. Can't replace Derrick Henry, but man, I really like the Hassan Haskins pickup. I definitely would have liked him to be on a different team, just like maybe a team that doesn't have like a premier back. Maybe say like in Atlanta or there's rumors that even Saints. Oh heck yeah, no, great point. There's Saints, maybe potentially in Carolina, and I only say that because Christian McCaffrey could potentially be out in a year or so. But again, you're on a great team. he's going to thrive and he's going to eat and he's going to do very well. And if in the event, God forbid, King Henry goes out, you have Hassan Haskins there, man. So I like the Treylon picks. I get A-. I would have liked to see another receiver drafted a little bit higher. But overall, really like this pick, A-. And I think we're right there, Mike. Coolness. And folks, go down below, comment if you agree, if you disagree, if you love what we said, or man, you just like, hey, what's up, kin folks, whatever. We're going to chop it up with you in the comment section. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because that helps the channel take and grow. We appreciate you, Touchdown Nation. Have a good night. Peace.
Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.